What's up, Facebook? We are live here, day 5 of the Client Generation Bootcamp. And we are here right now at the Manifest Mansion. If you guys catch the replay, skip the 5-minute mark as per usual, so you guys can go and see all the good stuff. If you guys are rolling on through, what's up, Zachary, Parker, Harris? If you guys are jumping on in, what's up, what's up? Share where you guys are calling in from. Share what it is that you coach. Share what you want to learn today, what you're excited about. What's up, Amanda? Share all the details below. I want you guys to be sharing what's your number one takeaway so far from the bootcamp. Let's get this thing fired up. Let's get excited. It's Friday.
Go.
It's Enrollment Friday here at the Manifest Mansion, La Jolla, San Diego.
That's
and we
right.
are fired up. Ow!
Oh my God, I'm so excited for this. We already got the gifts dropping. Everyone who's popping on, show some love. What's up? We got all the beautiful faces, all the beautiful reactions. This is going to be such an insane live. Like, honestly, people have been asking for this for a good minute for me and the old man here to get on a live and really talk about enrollment. So if you got our mini chat, if you got the message, if I message you directly, like, this is because it's such an important thing. In fact, it's the number one thing as a coach, if you truly understand. And I remember what it was like to be very broke and start as a coach, and then to be able to be decent and have, some clients, and then to really step into the art of enrollment and build a serious business, an incredible client base, and to really have massive impact in the world. And we're going to be diving into the 17 ninja hacks. We actually have 18 as of this morning. This guy added one. So maybe you'll go from 57 to 58% conversion ratio. Who knows? Maybe it'll be more. But what's up, guys? If you're just jumping on, say what's up. Say where you're from.
Say your number one takeaway from the bootcamp so far.
What's up, Shauna Francisco? What's up, David? So we are here in Manifest Mansion. This is a place where me and my buddies, we created this. I lived in an entrepreneur house probably about a year ago, and I just wanted a little bit younger energy. So we went and created it, and here we are at it. So if you guys are really excited for today's talk, just say what's up. Drop hashtag enrollment, and then start thinking of questions. This is going to be such a value-added live. I want you guys to come with clear questions that we can support you with. We've had so many amazing guests over these 5 days, and we want to bring it home. If you guys could turn that sound off over there, that'd be great. We want to bring it home for you guys. So anything you want to say with you guys before we get straight into it?
Yeah, we really want this to be like the most epic enrollment masterclass that anyone here has ever experienced. And you guys have got a flavor for what we've created in this bootcamp, where we're truly taking a stand for the personal development industry and truly taking a stand to bring personal development to the masses. And one of the really unfortunate things about the high-ticket space, about the personal development space, is the lack of authenticity in this space. And so what we want each of you guys to walk away from with this is no longer feeling like that dirty car salesman. No longer feeling like the sleazy car salesman, no longer being out of integrity, no longer having that pit inside of you when it comes to sales calls or to enrollment. We watch each and every one of you guys to get ready for an enrollment conversation and feel so excited to be offering thousands of dollars for your services that you're just electric all day, every day, hungry to take a stand for more people and to change their lives. Because the two role models that are mostly out there right now in the sales and enrollment world is the really cheesy, car salesman, hype guy, inauthentic, think you have to do that in order to enroll. Or there's just like the person who's like the nonprofit who just like wants to make massive impact but is completely broke. And those are like the two spectrums that most people have. And most people don't think that they can truly be in alignment and truly take a stand for someone and truly care and truly love and truly want to change their life and be paid thousands and thousands of dollars for it. There's very few role models. There's very few models out there that actually accomplish those two things. And we are here today to take a stand for that for each and every one of you guys. So if you guys are excited about that, let's get some 10 out of 10. Let's get some booms. Let's get some enrollment. Let's get some excitement. I want to get some fire. I want you guys to be as lit as we are. We are bringing the 12 out of 10 today. That allows you guys to be a 10 out of 10 today. So let's have some fun. Let's have a party, and let's get this thing started. Boom.
Oh, my God. That got me fired up. So if you have any challenges around sales, okay, so let's just like break those down for a second, okay? You either feel salesy, or you're in Messenger, or you've been trying to build an audience and you feel weird about it. Today, we're going to dismantle all of those things so you can actually see the truth about enrollment. If you're actually booking calls and you're having calls but you're not quite closing, or even worse, you're not collecting card info on the phone, we're going to be dismantling all of the things around commitment, so that way you can actually have people commit and be so excited to give you their credit card. And then third, if you think you're savage at enrollment, I'm really excited for you, because this is truly the mastery of what we've been able to create within our business. And truthfully, at the highest level, it's amazing to have you on board with us. And as you know, if you can just take away one key thing, you can always get better. So I'm excited for you guys. And so what are these 17 ninja hacks, and why specifically are they going to create or increase your conversion by 57%? Because here's the thing, guys, we know that the number one metric to measure in a coaching business is the number of enrollment calls they set. And where so many people are set on that, getting the calls booked, finding the right people, what I will share with you and what we'll share with you is what is the number one first hack. And it starts with understanding what enrollment actually is. So what I would love before we get into that is share your definition of what enrollment is. Enrollment is what? Enrollment is sales. Enrollment is what? I mean, there's many different variations. We have our definition. What I would love is for you guys to share what enrollment is. And for those of you guys who just stay on the sidelines here, I highly encourage you guys to participate in this, because there have been studies that have done the people who engage the most retain the most. So I'll say that again, the people who engage the most retain the most. So if you're going to be on this, if you're going to be investing your time, investing your commitment, giving your attention to be able to be here present with us and get the most value out of this so you can take your coaching business to the next level, do you think it's worth it for you to put all the cards in your favor to retain every single thing that we're sharing with you? Because even if you just get one idea that supports you in closing one person and enrolling them into their vision, do you think that would support you? Absolutely. So let's play full out. Let's get some definitions.
So yeah, I'd love for you guys to share what enrollment is to you. And there is a very specific reason why we say enrollment and not sales, because enrollment and language is everything.
All right, so we got a few here. Enrollment is getting to know your potential client, okay? Enrollment is being a badass stand for men to have epic full body orgasms.
Let's go, Mika!
Let's go, Mika. Mika. Candace, they paid me and are committed. They paid me and are committed. I love it. Amazing. So as you guys are dropping,
enrollment is getting to know your potential client. Cool.
Amazing. So what is enrollment for us? Do you want to take this one?
I'll let you take it.
All right, sounds good. So enrollment is a sacred conversation, okay? And this was originally shared with me with one of my buddies. And the second that I understood it was the second that everything began to change for me, because what I realized was truthfully what an enrollment call is. And I say this all the time, and it polarizes people. It polarizes people who aren't making money as a coach, because those who understand it know that it's true. And what I mean by that is 80% of the value of your coaching comes from the enrollment conversation. 80% from a single conversation. Why is that? Because enrollment is a sacred conversation. And what I mean by that is every single person, every single day is going out there and working to strive to create the life that they genuinely desire. But oftentimes they're hitting a challenge and things are happening to them, for them, by them, however they choose to look at it. But rarely is someone in their corner genuinely seeking to understand what that person is experiencing at this point in their life. And so what you have is you have friends, you have family, you have lots of people in everyone's life, but yet why does everyone feel more disconnected than ever? Why do people feel so alone? Part of it's childhood trauma, but another part of it is that there's no one actually seeking to understand anyone. Like, think about that for a second. When's the last time you or one of your friends have dropped in with each other and actually talked about what your vision is? Like maybe you talk about it at high level, but I'm being serious. Like why don't you have a 6-figure business right now? And if you do, why isn't it at 7? Oftentimes there's internal blocks that aren't discussed. And what happens on an enrollment conversation is you're able to really go to the place and create space for this person to be heard for the first time in their life. For the first time in their life, they actually have someone who's genuinely seeking to understand and actually cares about them and what's happening. This is a completely different way of looking at enrollment and about sales, because what we understand is that this is not about us trying to extract cash from someone. This is actually first seeing if this person's even a good fit for our program. But in order for us to know that, we have to be able to believe in their mission. We have all the tools, we have all the strategies to take people to 6 and 7 figures. Why would we give that to someone who isn't necessarily in the right space to do it? It just doesn't make sense. And so where our come from is first actually dropping in and understanding who this person is, what they're here to create, and what's genuinely blocking them. And when you create space for that, you'd be amazed what happens for people is they actually realize, oh my God, this person's not trying to sell me something. They actually care. And when people feel like you care because you do, it's incredible. They actually open up and they share what's truly holding them back. And that's where change becomes possible.
Can I jump in here?
Absolutely.
Cool. So for you who's listening, I'd be curious for you, scale of 1 to 10, how much of a sacred conversation is enrollment right now? Put your numbers in the dialogue box. We want to see from you guys, scale of 1 to 10, how much of a sacred conversation is enrollment right now? And as we're sharing this, if you guys are thinking in those voices in your head, which are like, you're right, you're getting triggered, you're like, this is bullshit, this isn't really blowing my mind, blah, 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 blah. I would love to invite you to truly look at this as something that's sacred. And even if you're not that woo, really step into this and realize this isn't about you getting money from someone. This is not about someone signing up for your coaching practice. This is about you connecting and going so deep with someone that you understand them more than their mom, their dad, their brother, their sister, their best friend, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their wife, their husband, their kids. You're going so deep because you're connecting in a way that no one connects with them. And the reason why this is so sacred is because you are taking a full stand for this person to change their life. And money, we'll talk about in a little bit, really is just commitment. That is all the money is. Any story that you guys have outside of this, any anxiety you get, anything that you guys are feeling where you get worried about doing it, all dissipates when you get so clear this is sacred and you are just focused on serving and taking a stand for this person's life. When it comes time to ask for the money, when it comes time to overcome objections, any thought of feeling salesy, of feeling anything negative or anything that stifles you, all disappears when you truly come from a place of this is a sacred conversation. Just like yesterday in TED Talks, when we're talking with Taylor and we said, the TED Talk is not about optimizing for the most number of views. It is about optimizing for what truly lights your heart on fire and giving the talk that you're meant to talk. In this world, you don't create value by going directly at a target. You don't become incredible at enrollment by just getting people trying to get people to pay you a lot of money. You get people paying you a lot of money because you add so much value to their life, you treat it like a sacred conversation, and you get deeper than they've ever gone almost with anyone off the bat. And how you start is how you finish. The context that you've set from the start shifts everything. And that's why this is the 80-20 of getting clients results, is when you can tap in with them that deeply off the bat, everything else shifts. If you guys are getting clients who are dropping off, you're getting clients who aren't fully showing up through the process, if you get clients who are asking for refunds, everything, it's back to the enrollment conversation. And if people aren't paying you money or doing whatever and you're getting blocked in enrollment conversation, it's because you've viewed the enrollment conversation in the wrong way. Boom.
Yeah. So this is a complete paradigm shift. And I remember when I first realized this is it's just started to make so much sense. And all of my fears around enrollment, all the scarcity and all the things that I had, they began to melt away. Because what I began to realize was that this isn't about me and my program and everything that I'm trying to do and my goals. This is actually about them. And yeah, money's a huge part of the conversation. Without it, we have nothing, but we'll get there. Right now, this isn't about the money. This is about them and understanding their vision, where they're at, the challenges they face, and how they're actually going to get there. And this is the first principle of the 17 ninja hacks that we're going to be sharing with you today, is that enrollment is a sacred conversation. Focus on this person and realize that it's not about your program. It's not about you making a sale. That's part of it for sure. We're not leaving it, we're not taking it off the table. It's definitely there. But what's more so that it's about is actually understanding that this is a real human being with a heart, with a vision, with a purpose on this planet, and that you're here to create space for that to come out, for that light to shine, and for you to help them actually commit to it, because we all know that a human that is committed, the universe conforms to. The universe conforms to those who commit. And when you help someone commit to their vision and receive the support that they need to get there, aka your coaching, like nothing's going to stop them. So share a quick story about this, and then we'll move into lesson number 2, is how is enrollment a sacred conversation? Well, I remember having a conversation with a client who, she's actually on here now, but she is a tantra coach, and she was on the last leg of her coaching business, and she's literally about to give up. And she had investment programs before. She was pretty much just in a space of like, is this even going to work? And she jumped on the call with me, like just kind of as like a last shot, and just kind of wanted to see before she kind of just threw in the towel. And all of that came to the surface. And I remember having a conversation with her about the possibility of her having that 6-figure business, of her really being in the space of empowerment, having someone to take care of her kid, having someone to be on her team, for her to know how to be able to get clients and to really hold that space. And I remember her sharing with me, she said, Alex, if I do this, this is my last shot. Imagine you're on a call with someone, they say, this is my last shot. How would you approach that? And I said, I know it is. And this is going to be the last coaching program you ever need. And the reason that is a sacred conversation is because we're in the business of transformation. We're in the business of getting people insane results, just like you're in the business of getting people insane results. And so it's sacred, because the truth of the matter is that if they jump off that phone, or if they don't join your program, they're probably never going to have the life that they want. And what ended up happening is she committed to the program. She signed with the Inner Circle. And, I remember the day that she texted me saying that she got a 10K paid in full client. And that was the same woman who was about to give up on her coaching business. And so this is why enrollment is sacred. And everything that we're going to be sharing with you today is going to be completely rewiring, rethinking, completely shifting anything that you've ever thought about enrollment. Because the truth of the matter is, this is coaching. Enrollment is coaching. This is how you get people insane results. It starts right here. Your program is the vehicle that gets them there. But if they're not willing to get in the driver's seat and be able to even get in that vehicle, how can you expect them to get the transformation? So let's get into principle number 2, okay?
And just before we get into that, I just want to say, if you guys have just jumped on, what's up? We just dropped some serious knowledge. Go back and watch the replay if you missed it. But for every single person who's here right now, it's Friday. It's day 5.
Yeah, it is.
63 to 67 of you guys live right now. We have so much love for you guys. We have so much love for the work that you're doing, for everyone who's shown up this week, for everything you guys have bought. The energy just pumps us up. It makes us so excited. So much love and gratitude and everything you guys are bringing to this world, because we know if everyone was doing the kind of work that you're doing, this world would be such a better place. We love you guys. Let's roll into number 2.
Let's do it.
Woo!
Yo! Oh, oh, oh. All right. So number 2 is the number 1 skill of a coach. What is it? What's the number 1 skill of a coach? Drop in the comments. I saw you guys drop what enrollment means to you. We want to make this interactive. We want to make it fun. Like the last thing that we're here to do is just to jump on a live and chat our mouths off. We're here to support you in understanding the things that we've literally invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in understanding and giving it to you literally for free. Like if people knew that, like really what we're giving away and how much we've invested.
Don't play with the comments. Josh, if you can jump over here actually and stand do comments here. We actually had Facebook Live crash on us on Monday. This team blew up Facebook Live, so we're just like really careful about not doing that again. So we don't want to like mess with anything because last time it blew it up. So. Yeah,
we had like 1,500 comments. It was insane. So number 2, what is the number one skill of a coach? All right. All of your answers probably wrap into it. I've asked this at live events that we've hosted before. And usually people say listening. They say, understanding your client, being able to hold space, being able to challenge them. These are all parts of it for sure. And whatever your answer is, I would encourage you to drop it because it will support you in retaining what I'm about to share with you. So what is the number one skill of a coach? The ability to enroll yourself in your own vision. This is huge. And this is something that I remember we had a retreat with all of our clients, and we supported them in this exercise where we actually had them journal down everything like as if they were enrolling themselves in their vision. And the reason this is such a powerful exercise is because the truth of the matter is, if you can't stand in your vision, how do you expect to hold the space for someone to stand in theirs? Coaching is a lead by example model. Whatever your vision is, like coaching is so fascinating because there's no back door. Everything that you're doing, like people are buying you, they're buying your life, they're buying what you're creating and really your ways of being that are producing those results. And so if there's no back door and there's only one way forward, then the question is, what does that look like? The reason we're constantly reinvesting in ourselves and taking our lives and our business to the next level is because we know that life is a continual growth game. And we're constantly being challenged to take ourselves to the next level. And when we, this guy and me, I shared this story. I'll give you guys an example. I moved to San Diego in February of last year. Moved to a skyrise apartment. It was the craziest thing I ever did. I only had $2,000, $1,500 went to rent, like $500 went towards food. And I had like 1 month to launch the first group coaching program. And what's crazy about that is that was just over a year ago. On almost the same exact day, I moved into this place. And almost on the same exact week, this guy moved into an entrepreneur house as well here in San Diego. And he was just featured like on what is it, San Diego
Union Tribune, front page of the finance section. Yeah.
So someone from San Diego Tribune like came to their house and like everyone's crushing it, and these guys are gonna be on the front page on the Times on Sunday. And the reason that I share that is not to brag, like it's an amazing life that we live, but it's because we're Source, and we know that we're here to continually grow and evolve. And each time that we grow and evolve, it's just a representation of us leading by example. You can't coach something on something that you've never done. And the truth of the matter is that people want to see someone who's doing it, who's leading by example, who is crushing it. And so you can't expect yourself to just enroll a few clients and be comfortable with that, because the truth of the matter is that the number one skill of a coach is the ability to enroll themselves in their own vision. So when we're waking up and drinking super shakes that are made with like 30 different ingredients, when we're in the gym, when we're being able to also have self-care, when we're being able to do all the things that we teach our clients, it's no coincidence that people continually enroll with us. And the same is true for our clients. So what I would invite you to think about is, what's that one area of your life where you're not walking the talk? Because it's very easy to talk the talk. It's far more difficult to walk the talk. And I like a huge mission for us is to put an end to the wild, wild west. Like, we're sick and tired of these people just talking and, going to a few seminars and like thinking that they can be a coach, because you can, but it's a process. It's a journey. And the truth of the matter is, when the recession hits, all the people that aren't walking the talk, they're going to be wiped out. So what's the area for you that you get to shift? We have a bunch of Tantra clients. Oftentimes, the first thing that they do is start doing their jade egg practice. If it's someone who is, like a different type of coach, maybe it's a business coach or health coach, like, how can you up the ante? It seems like it wouldn't support you in growing your business, but the truth of the matter is, like, this is everything that holds up your business. It's you setting the standard for yourself so you can set the standard for others and hold them to it. And oftentimes coaches can get so caught up in growing their business that they let go of this fundamental principle, which is the number one skill of a coach, is the ability to enroll yourself in your own vision. Because if you commit to it, if you get the support that you need to grow your business, if you hire coaches, if you walk the talk, how can the universe not conform to support you in giving you clients? Because you're going to be attracting the clients that think that way, that are that way as well. You know, we hear all the time like coaches complaining that they can't get paid in fulls or that they can't get clients consistently. I would invite you to ask, how are you showing up and how are you sourcing that? Because you can't attract that which you aren't. If you're not in a high frequency, if you're not doing paid in fulls, if you're not investing in coaching, how could you possibly expect someone else to? It just doesn't make sense.
Cool. So up to so far, what are you guys learning? What are you guys taking away? What's the number one thing that's hit home with you guys so far? What's coming up for you guys? We're 26 minutes in. We've only gone through 2 principles. We've got 16 more to go. So we're going to rapidly increase the pace now. We always have this like funny thing where he's very flow. I am just like full machine. So we have like this beautiful balance, but we know we get to step that up moving forward. So number 3.
So so number 3 is this one. This one will be super lazy. This one actually just popped on the map probably like in the last week or two. But I just kept getting this reflection from my clients of like, each time someone would sign with me or sign with us, they would say, this is why I'm signing up. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, because I want to learn how to do what you just did. I'm like, awesome. Like, that's the whole purpose of the program. Let's do this thing. But what happened was Yuri, who you guys saw on my personal Facebook, if you saw that, in the last 10 weeks, she's done 10 clients. So she was basically at a dead stop. Then she did 10 clients. And the number one thing that shifted for her was obviously committing to her vision and applying it like no shit. But the second thing was she was able to experience a role model, a model of what it looks like to embody the things that we're sharing with you. And so when she jumped on the phone with me, I was able to support her in committing to her vision like no other. And of course, no wonder she produced the results that she did, but she was able to then give that gift to her clients. And she came back to me about a week ago. This was like literally like a day before that live that we did. And she said, her client actually gave her this. So that this is the magic here. She said, you can't do what you haven't experienced. You can't give what you haven't received. And I thought about that. I'm like, that's really fascinating, because oftentimes a lot of our clients that sign with us, like within the next couple of days, and like Sophie's here and she'll be coming on in a second, but I remember she texted me 3 days after signing up, paid in full. And that's not, I mean, we don't promise that because we don't really expect it, but it often happens. And I think one of the reasons that it does is because you can give it that which you've received. And when you understand and experience the things that we teach on enrollment, like we are today, and we're breaking this down, like we're not holding back, you guys. Like we are literally given so much today. Like this is a live that I wish I had when I was starting out, or really even when things were starting to take off. But when you experience it, when you commit to it, you're able to give it.
Cool. All right. Number 4. So that was number 3, is you can't do what you don't experience. Number 4 is prepare for your calls with pre-call rituals. So there's 2 things to consider before you get on a call. The first thing we talked about was enrollment is a sacred conversation. So if it's sacred, you should do a pre-call ritual that brings you into that sacred state and gets you attuned to that feeling, right? So the first thing you want to do is logistics. Get any logistics taken care of. You've gone through, you know exactly who you're speaking to. You've done research on them. You've gone to Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever, and you understand everything you can about them. You know that person incredibly well just by looking at their social profiles. You've got all your Zoom links set up. You know you've got their phone number in case they show up a little late. Like you've got all those things like tied up, so you've got those details down. Then once you've got the details down, then you can get out of your head and you can get into heart space. You can go from 3D to 5D. And so how do you do this? Like what is your energy level? And then what is the energy level of the client that you're speaking with? So I just had a call with someone just before this, and she may be on here if you are. What's up? You know who you are. And my energy, as you guys can tell, gets very excited sometimes. Like, boom. Other times it's like straight up masculine. It'll vary, right? Like I'll have it. But the really key thing is to make sure that your energy levels are going to go and match that other person, and then you can shift the conversation. You can maybe be slightly above them, but you don't want to go into someone who's like very quiet, like very shy. And you're like, boom, what's up? Like you don't want to go into that conversation because it's just going to destroy any rapport. So if you feel immediately that they're quiet or you imagine they're going to be quiet, come in softer. Speak a little slower. Tap into your heart space a little bit more. Style flex. This is not being incongruent. This is just matching your energy and how you show up with theirs. And then you slowly start to rise the energy after so they can start to get raised up as you go throughout the conversation. So the pre-call ritual could be meditations, could be doing like burpees, could be doing push-ups, could be blasting music, could be having a dance party, could be getting freaking wild, could be making animal noises, could be doing whatever it is that you guys want to do. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Like whatever gets you guys excited out of your head, out of your thought patterns and into flow. So when you get on that phone call with that person, they can just feel your energy right off the bat. Boom.
So good. Number 5, and I hope you guys are taking notes on this. And if you are, I would encourage you to write this one down. I remember James actually sharing this one with me. And it's very simple. Remember, they want you to win. Right? So go ahead and write that down. Remember, they want you to win. So oftentimes coaches jump on the call and they're like so in their shit. Like, you know, maybe they're not in the best energy or maybe they've even done the pre-call ritual. But like
scarce, need money,
like
freaking out, haven't had an enrollment call in a while.
Yeah, or like they keep having calls and like just people aren't buying, like they can't quite figure it out. And so it's like so much can be attached to signing clients consistently that there's just this feeling in your body. And and people can smell it, right? Like on the other side of the call, it's like if you're in that energy, people can pick up on it. You know, there's a complete different feeling that you get from someone that's in total abundance versus someone has that stench of scarcity on them. And when you're able to release that, one way that you can do that is to remember that they want you to win. So James, if you could share that with them, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So a really big thing that comes up around enrollment calls, right, is truthfully, how congruent are you in asking someone to pay you $5,000 to work with you? Truthfully, how congruent are you? And so if we were to work together and I was looking at your pricing model and increase it, that would probably feel really stretchy. And then you would look at your past history, you'd have made an investment with us, you'd be freaking out a little bit, you'd be wanting to make money, you'd be wanting to get a client, you'd be wanting all these things. The biggest thing that's going to shift you out of that, shift you out of your imposter syndrome, shift you out of anything, is to 100% let go of I, of me, of any thoughts, and truly get connected to we and them. And when you truly get that enrollment is a sacred conversation, and you truly focus out and taking a stand to change their life. Like whenever I get nervous or like boom, or like whatever, like I had an enrollment call here just before and there's like 10 people in the house listening to me do an enrollment conversation. The only thing that I care about, people are laughing in the background, the only thing I care about is taking a stand for that person. If they're listening, yes, there were people listening to our call and I love you. And I truly was only focused on caring about you and taking a stand for your life. Because when you get it at a true level, they want you to win. Most people think an enrollment call is us versus them. It's all going great. Comes time for the money. All their shit comes up. And then you're like, fuck, I'm a sleazy car salesman. Blah, 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 blah. Story. But when you actually get it, they want you to win. They are sick and tired of having a mediocre life. They're sick and tired of the pain, the trauma, the bullshit they've gone through. They want to step into their higher power. They want to step into that life where they have that magic wand and 12 months from now, they have their ideal life in their health, their wealth, and their relationships. And they're sick and tired of the bullshit they've been going through. And they want a solution. You are the solution. So when you let go of all your bullshit, all your stories, all your things about worth, all these bullshit things, you were broke growing up, you didn't have a lot of money, you've never been able to make a lot of money in your life, you haven't made a bunch of money rightly, you're struggling to pay rent, blah, 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 bullshit. Let it all go. The only thing that you focus on is taking a stand for that person's life, and they want you to win. Do that, everything will shift. Boom.
Yeah, and also thinking about this too, like how many other programs have they been looking into? How many other times have they tried something? Like there's a part of them that jumps on the call just saying, I hope to God this is the person that can finally help me. And they have their stories, they have their rackets, they have the things that, you know, they're telling themselves. But the truth of the matter is, like, their heart is ready to invest because they know that they need the support. They've been looking at it for a while. They've been trying to figure this thing out on their own for a minute, and it hasn't worked. And so all they want is to just let all their fears just rest by the wayside and be like, I'm taken care of. Like, finally, I'm going to have it. And that is what begins the transformational process. And the final thing that I'll say on that is, like, they wouldn't be on the phone if they didn't need you. Not in like some needy way. It's just like, why would they get on the phone if they weren't looking for your support? And sometimes there's logistical things around why they can't invest, and that's fair. But more often than not, like, I remember the first time I invested in my coach, I legitimately didn't have the money. And I jumped off, and he told me you have 4 hours to find it. And I just jumped off the phone and I committed. I just made the decision, like, I'm going to find it. And here's what's crazy. This is a true story. This actually happened over the last couple of days. I was sharing this story with someone because she's like, I'm in the program. I want to do it. I just don't have the money. I'm like, awesome. And I shared with her this story of when I invested in my first coach. I seriously didn't have the money. And I got off the phone. I called my grandpa. I called my friends. I called my mom. I called every single person I possibly could. And everyone was like, oh, I just invested in new cabinets. You know, oh, I just paid for school. I just did this. Everyone was giving me all these excuses of why they couldn't support me. And it wasn't like I had ever asked anyone for much money before. So it was just like all these different things. But I was still committed. And right when, like, I was about to give up, this person just popped in my mind. I had literally just met them. At the time, I was like shopping at Goodwill and like getting clothes from there. And this person popped in my mind, and I call him up. He doesn't answer. I text him. I say, I'm coming to your work. He's like freaking out. He's like, he tried to call me back. He's like, hey, is everything okay? I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, I'll see you in a few minutes. And I come to his work. He comes outside. He's like, what's going on, man? I'm like, yo, like, we need to have a conversation. And I'm sitting him down, and I just lay it on him. I'm like, dude, I need this money. This is why I need it. And I'm going to pay you back. Let's set a goal. Let's do this thing. And I enrolled him and given me the money so that way I could be enrolled and eventually get the support that I need in order to like reach my goals. And like, sure enough, the person I shared that story with went and found the money, and now she's like able to join the program. And so I just don't accept ever that someone doesn't have the money, because you are infinite, you are source. And if you ever get the objection of you don't have the money or they don't have the money, like, I hear you, and you're right. You don't have the money because you look at your bank account and you see a couple $100, but you're looking at things as they are. And if you're going to be a coach, if you're going to be someone that plays in this transformational space and you're dead serious committed to that, then it doesn't matter, because I believe that your source. That's, you know, I had a vision 3 years ago to be living in La Jolla, California, working out at World Gym, running a coaching business, and in the relationship of my dreams. That's my real life. That's what it means to be source. And so if you look at your life and your vision, like, there's only one person who's responsible for making that happen. And who is that? It's you. And this is what it means to be source. So I hear you when you say you don't have the money, because you don't. I'm not trying to, you know, imagine numbers in there and suddenly they show up. What I'm saying is, figure this shit out. Go make it happen, because if you're serious about making this, you'll find the money. I know you will. And this is really like your first test of being source. And that has supported me. It supported like so many people that I've been on the phone with who didn't have the money. And I just wanted to share that last piece so you can just never get that objection again and not know how to handle it. Okay, let's keep moving. So this one is actually huge.
Let's have Josh Massey take it.
I was about to say, this is definitely a mass attacker.
What's the question?
Seek first to understand, then to be understood.
Oh, yes. Yes. I'll take this one. So
Josh Massey, ladies and
introduction.
If you guys don't know, Josh, he enrolled the enroller about 9 months ago. Came on the NLC team, and he's been supporting us ever since. This dude's transformation has been absolutely insane. Like, went from basically like complete scratch, and we've been able to support him in, like, I mean, he's on our team. So, you know, he is like a very pivotal part of everything that we do. But his transformation around enrollment, like he went from saying like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I just can't be you, Riker. I'm like, bro, you don't need to be me. Like, and he's like, no, like, I just don't want to do sales. I don't want to do any of that, da. All right. And then like I remember there was a moment where like everything clicked, and it's going to be on this principle that he's about to share with you. And ever since then, like this dude consistently gets paid in fulls left and right. And he does it with integrity, and he just does it from coming from a really good heart space. So the
so
principle,
much love for Josh Massey. He's blowing up. Everyone's loving on Josh.
Yep. So the principle is seek first to understand, then to be understood. So Josh, I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah. So what's up, everybody? I've been behind the scenes in the comments. Just keep them coming. And, you know, I just really wanted to speak into seeking to understand and then to be understood. And what that really means is speaking from the authentic self, as they have shared over and over and over. That is what enrollment is. And when you're seeking to understand someone, not seeking an agenda from your side, not seeking to see if they're a fit and seeing if they have money, when you're truly just seeking to understand someone and see them for who they are, see them as a human being and see into their world, see what their problems are. What are you going through as a human being? Can I support you? Can I serve you? When you come from that, being so congruently authentic, people feel it every single time. And when they feel that they have been understood, they are then in the position to be, you know, listened to and heard. And they feel heard. And when they feel heard, then you get to have a conversation with them. And that's all enrollment is. It's seriously that simple. So seek to understand, then to be understood. Back to record.
Well, hold on real quick. So
okay.
Stay in here.
All right, I'm still here.
So this is
stand your power.
Yeah. So this is such a huge piece, and this dude has seen me do it more than anyone else. And it's called reflect back to them what they said in the form of a question, right? So this is a pivotal piece. Most people think they understand enrollment. I can guarantee you that if you're not doing this, you are leaving so much money on the table, so much impact, so much transformation. Like your legacy is literally dying without this last piece. So if you could speak into what you have seen me do and like what that has meant for our business, our clients, their clients, like can you speak into what it means when I say reflect back to them? Yes. Reflect back to them what they said in the form of a question? Absolutely.
So keywords to anyone who's taking notes, write this down. What I'm hearing you say is, okay, so when they share with you what you have seeked to understand, you reflect it back to them in the form of a question in the words, what I'm hearing you say is. And from that moment where you go one step even further into the understanding, you're really understanding at an even deeper level than what they're saying. So what I'm hearing you say is, you're going to reflect it back to them, and they're going to feel, you know, for example, right? Someone says, oh, I'm struggling losing weight. What I'm hearing you say is, from the conversation that you've been having with them so far, we know the real reason they want to lose weight is to impress their loved ones. So what I'm hearing you say is you would like to lose weight to be able to impress the love of your life. Yes, you get me, right? Because I'm not just reflecting it, I'm really showing that I've understood them. And from that space, it's not a coincidence that every single person they call me, you know, James and Riker have nicknamed me Massey the Messenger Master, right? Because I'm always understanding everyone in the comments. I'm always understanding everyone in Messenger. And when you truly can hold space for someone and understand them, it's not a coincidence, guys, that we've had, you know, the tremendous success that we have. And it's truly coming from that authentic place that when people feel understood and they know how much you care, right? And I'm sure you guys have heard this. If you're not taking notes, the last thing I'm going to say here is nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah. And so for those of you guys who are here, like this single piece is just a testament to like so much transformation. Like this is something that you can even do with your clients as well. But it's like, what that looks like, just to add to it. So that way, like this is just huge. Like if you're not doing this, you're severely, like I said, severely leaving your legacy on the table. It's important to hear what they're saying and what they're not saying, right? And that's what Massey was getting into there. And what you really want to do, and this is why like we say enrollment is a sacred conversation, because you're first seeking to understand the person and what their vision is and where they're at and the challenges they face and what they're experiencing, and then being able to reflect that back to them in the form of a question. So what I'm hearing you say is you've been at this game for a while. You are a full-time coach. You have clients coming in. It's just not exactly consistent. You're not really sure where the next one's coming from. And you feel like it's something around the strategy, but deep down, that there's like a deeper emotional block. And if we were to resolve that, as well as give you the right strategy, then you'd be able to get clients consistently. Is that right? And the reason I'm saying the question is because I'm not assuming anything. I want them to own that they understand me. And this isn't some tactic. Like, I want you guys to know that you can't just do this and expect it to produce XYZ result. Like it has to be done congruently. You have to genuinely care. Like, human beings are real. Like, you guys can see us, you can feel us. We have clients hanging out with us right now, like here on this live, and it's like, we're real people and they can feel the heart. You can't fake the heart. People feel it. And you can say these same things, doesn't mean people are going to buy. Maybe the people who aren't really tapped in will, but those aren't people that you really want as clients anyways. You want to be doing this stuff from a very clear heart space. And that is what allows them to go, yes. And if you don't get the yes, the 100%, like, absolutely, you got me, then they're going to say, yes, and this, da-da-da-da-da. And you say, oh, okay, cool. And you take that and you just loop it back in. You say, oh, okay, so it's actually everything you just said plus this. Is that right? Yes. Awesome. Well, based upon everything you shared with me, I think you're a perfect fit for my program. Here's how it works. Right? That is really the magic within enrollment, is seeking first to understand, and then they want to hear what you got to say, because they're like, oh yeah, actually you get me. 99% of marketers out there have no fucking clue what I'm actually experiencing. They just think I do, and they run paid ads to me, but they never actually jumped on a phone with me to see what's true and real for me. And now that you've done that, absolutely, I'm more than happy to have a conversation about that. Cool. Thanks,
Yes.
Matt.
Cool.
Dude.
Awesome. All right. So, well, let's skip this one. I want you to jump in here. Maybe you actually kick this one off and just share your experience with me.
All right, number 7. So they call me the old man, but this guy's really the grandpa who tells stories around fires. Okay. So, stories.
Oh my God.
So where this began, at least the first time I became aware with his obsession with stories, we had our first ever retreat in a Circle 1. There's a guy called Chris Keene. He's a legend. 2 in the morning. Okay, 2 in the morning. I'm like sleeping. Grouchy dad is sleeping. Wakes up, annoyed that grandpa's still talking in the kitchen. And I'm like, what is going on here? And they're having a conversation. And I walk in and he goes, Chris, it's all about the stories. And I was like, you're talking about stories at 2 a.m.? We got a full day tomorrow. Go to sleep. Blah, blah, blah. It was hilarious. And stories are just one of those vehicles that I'm not even going to talk about, because this guy's so obsessed with them and he's so good at telling stories. And he's probably already told like 30 stories in this 49 minutes that we've already been on here. And he is so good at them. And they're just one of the most powerful ways for you to reflect something to someone without actually telling them, where people will actually listen. We talked yesterday about the TED Talks and the vehicle to truly spread your message in 18 minutes. And Taylor said you need to come up with 6 or 7 short, relevant, hitting stories. And this guy is the story master. So without further ado, Alexander, Granddad, let's share some stories around the fire with our beautiful audience.
Yeah, no, it's so funny. So you guys have heard me like share stories about our clients and like ourselves. That story is friggin' hilarious, because I was grilling Christopher Keene. He's like posting all this content. He's like, it's not working. I'm like, bro, tell stories. And I'm like grilling his ass at 2 a.m. in the morning because I love him. And eventually started telling stories, which was really fun. But yeah, like this is just something that is so near and dear to my heart. And we joke all the time. I'm like, oh, gather around, children, gather around. He like sees me as like this old man like gathering children around and like back in my day, like telling these stories. But the reason that I do is because stories sell, and not out of the space of like lack of integrity or anything like this. Like the truth of the matter is that your clients need your help, and you want to give them all the tools that you possibly can to support them in committing to their vision. And your story is what's going to enroll people. Your transformation, me being able to go from some, kid that was living with his mom, like dropped out of college, like dead set on being an entrepreneur, and yet couldn't quite figure all this out, to eventually going all in on fitness, building a fitness coaching business, and then leading to NLC and partnering with these guys. Like that is a story that can appeal to a young entrepreneur who wants to get into business but can't quite figure out how to get paid for his passion. That can appeal to a coach who's starting out but can't quite figure it out. And it can appeal to someone who's absolutely crushing it and can use the things that we teach our scale clients how to go even beyond. And the reason that it does is because it makes you relatable. You see this on social media and people are like on their pedestals in their private jets, like renting out Ferraris and all this crap. And that stuff's cool. And like you can have the significance of all of it. But what people want to know is two things. Can you help me? And do you actually care about me? And what stories do is help them realize like, wow, like these guys are relatable. Like I can actually relate to this person. And when they can relate to you and they can see where you're at, they're willing to listen. And they can see how you can help them save time and get there faster. So I would invite you guys to say, what is your personal story? How did you transform from where you're at to where you are today? And how does that apply to your audience? And the more that you can tell that story, the more that people are going to be inspired to work with you. We had Preston and Alexi on day 2. And if you guys were watching, they didn't make an offer. They didn't say, buy my bridge experience. Like they didn't jump in there and be like, woo, like, yeah, you need to buy my shit. Like they were just like sharing all these stories around all of their bridge experiences and what it means to be able to like let go of the ego and to step into identity and to like reinvent yourself. And instead of personal development, it's emergent wisdom. And, the question that leads to the answer that leads to a question. Like they had all these stories, and what they so well did, and it's no wonder that, they're doing 7+ figures in their business, is they shared stories around the bridge experience. And most of you probably never even realized that they were selling. And I remember the first time I started to realize this, I'm like, oh my God, like go to any of the top podcasts, any of the top people, the people who are crushing it, most of them aren't even making offers. They're just selling stories. Why? Because stories speak straight to the subconscious. The conscious mind doesn't buy. The subconscious mind does. And when the subconscious mind can hear a story, it puts you in the driver's seat of that story and realizes, oh my God, I can actually get to where I want to go. And then you give them a call to action. It's like, absolutely, let's freaking go. Okay, that's it.
Cool. Let's stay up here. Cool. Transformation is priceless. I'll let you take that one. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through a few more of these. Then we're actually going to bring up some of our clients who've gone through this and been really shifted their enrollment from these principles. And then we've actually got 21 written down here. So we're not going to be able to have time to go all through those now. But what we will do for you guys is we'll put it in the growth hacking package so you guys can grab the rest of them. We also sent you guys an email with a previous webinar we did with a bunch more of these. So you guys already have that email. If you don't, just send us a message. We'll make sure we send it. But the rest of the new ones that we've been coming out with over the last few weeks, we'll put those in the growth hacking package. Let's get a few more. We'll bring on some people who have gone through this recently, and then we'll wrap up this boot camp.
Amazing.
Cool.
So as we get into that, and as we bring these guys on, as I wrap up with this last piece, like, what are you guys hearing? Like, what's landing for you? What's a huge takeaway that you're having? Like, drop in the comments. Like, we would love to see. Like, again, the last thing we want to do is just stand up here and like chat all day. It's a nice, beautiful, rainy day in La Jolla. So
let's just leave it there. We'll use Massey's.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. If you guys can share like number one takeaway so far, what are you hearing? What are you learning? What's coming up for you? Share that in the chat box. We want to like go through those, Massey. You can read those out to us.
Check this out. My pre-call ritual, funny enough, is sniffing something called Boom Boom to hijack my olfactory sense as an NLP anchor. That and music.
Yeah.
That's right. We need to get you some boom, bro.
That's right, man.
Oh, God. Okay. So what does it mean? Transformation is priceless. This is, again, something I got from my buddy. But what it does is help you realize what you're actually giving someone. The reason that most coaches don't make money is because they can't clearly communicate the value of what they do to their dream client. And if you're getting objections like, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I need to think about it, let me speak to my partner, it's because you haven't made it a no-brainer. All your offers, everything that you give as a call to action, it should be a no-brainer. Like, you shouldn't have to convince someone to do something. You shouldn't have to try and put someone in a box and chain their ankle to a ball chain for them to be able to lock them down and pin them down into an agreement. Like, you don't need to do any of those things. If you can clearly communicate the value of what you do to where they go, this is such a no-brainer. Like, I often hear from people who end up investing with us, they say, wow, I cannot believe it's that price. Like, just so you know, like, some feedback for you, like, this is real. I heard these exact words on a call that I had recently. They're like, I was expecting it to be way more than that. And that's just some feedback for you. Like, I'm happy to make the investment at what it's at, but I was expecting it to be way more. And the reason is because we have a no-brainer offer. And the truth of the matter is that when your offer is a no-brainer, it's just that. Like, people don't need to think about it. It's done. Let's go. Whatever the investment is, let's rock and roll. And so oftentimes on the conversation, after I go through this piece that I'm about to get into, before we bring on like some of our clients to share with you real life human beings that have applied these things and gotten the results from it, that you can indeed have people not even know how the program works, how many calls there are. This is a true story. Like, I was on a call with someone recently, and I didn't even share how the program was, how many calls there were, all of the things that go into like the logistics. And he's like, awesome, like, how much is it? I'm like, I haven't even shared with you how the program works and you're ready to go. He's like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, great. Well, can I share those with you first and then we get into investment? He's like, yeah, absolutely. I'm like, awesome. This is the power of understanding that transformation is priceless, is that people get to transform. Recently, actually, I'll pass this one to you. I know I'll share like a tiny story and then I'll pass it to you. Is like,
here comes Grandpa.
We went through a program called ALA, and like my entire life in this space, in this world of coaching and of transformation, all I've wanted to ever do was give my mom that gift that she gave me. When I was in my deepest, darkest times, like, just literally like absolutely broken, that led to the moment of me committing to a completely different path. There was only one person in my life there for me, and that was my mom. And I believe it was her holding space for me in that moment that allowed me to eventually transform into who I am today. And I wanted her to work with coaches. I wanted her to work with all different kinds of people, but she would never do it. She would never invest. She just wouldn't do it. And it wasn't until recently where I found a vehicle that could support her. And I just knew that she got to go. And I remember hugging her after the first, there's different parts of this program, but after the first part of the program, she like completed it. And I remember hugging her and she wouldn't let go. For like 3 minutes, she held on. And when she finally did let go, I heard a tone in her voice that I had never heard before. She sounded like she was 7 years old again. And when she was 7, her dad died. And that's when she shut off all her emotions and she felt like she couldn't express them. But here she was, being able to let that little girl or her inner child out again. And to see that look in my mom's face, the joy that she's able to live with, like, I would have given anything for that. Like, it was 3, 4, 5, 10 times worth the investment that I paid, because the joy that she's going to experience in that moment not only allows her to be emotional and vulnerable, it's going to show up in her relationship with in love. It's going to show up in my relationship with my family. It's going to show up in her being able to believe in herself because she's actually able to see herself and not judge herself so hardcore. Like, that gift is priceless. And that was all able to be experienced in one moment, one program that she went through, let alone the lifetime value of what that's going to be able to do for her. And this is the gift that we give people. Like, we're so caught up on like the program and like what we're giving them. Like, you guys get to realize that the area that you're impacting them in is going to directly influence every other area of their life. And when you can clearly show them that and share that with them, how that works, they get it. And they're like, you're right. This is so much more than about me just having empowered sexuality. It's what that can do for me. It's so much more than having the body I want. It's what that's going to do for me. It's so much more than having a 6-figure coaching business. It's what that's going to do for me. And that's when they say, okay, awesome. How much is it? And I was going to pass it to you, but I'm also conscious of time. I don't know. I was going to invite you to share your story with your sister.
So I won't go into my story, my sister, but dude, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. And as you guys go throughout this, and if you truly connect in from that sacred place, you will have the rapport and you'll have the ability where you can ask someone, when you're asking them about their vision and the things that are getting in their way, then how your program can help them, you can ask them every step of the way, how do you see this impacting your finances, your health, your relationships? What would this be worth to you if you could get your time back? If you can no longer be in overwhelm? What would it be worth to you if you didn't wake up with that pit in your stomach every morning, freaking about all the stuff you have to do because you're spending time in all the wrong places and you're freaking out and you're in complete overwhelm? What would be worth to you to no longer have that and to get your time back? How would that impact your health? How would that impact your finances? How would that impact your relationships? How would that impact you being present with your husband? This is what the work is. And if you don't believe that you're worth $3,000 to $5,000 to work with to help people break through their lives in these areas, let go of that bullshit story, because that is a load of crap. If you truly honor your worth and your ability to break someone through, and you show up every single conversation with that person, treating it fully sacred, that person is getting more value working with you than they have ever probably experienced in their entire life hanging out with a different human being. And that'll be worth 10x, 100x, 1,000x what they invest with you. Okay, I'm going to fire off a few more just to be in a little bit of integrity here. And then we're going to get into this. So this is James Hodges' rapid fire, 5 minutes, see what I can get through. So get your comments ready. I'm not going to repeat anything. I'm going to fire it off super quick. So be ready, be poised. We're just going to throw the kitchen sink at you guys. Okay. We've done that one. First 5 seconds make you. The pre-call ritual is so important because when you show up on that call with that energy, matching or just above their energy level, and then slowly bringing it up, that first 5 seconds is everything. Subconsciously, they've already decided if they're interested in working with you or not based on the first 5 seconds. So that's where the deep work comes in, the meditations, showing up 24/7 as a leader and doing the pre-call rituals. Boom. Number 10, your triad never shifts even if they do. I actually don't know what that one means. So you go do James Hodges rapid fire.
Okay. So I met Eli Wilhite earlier this year, and he's Tony Robbins' like #1 salesperson by 7x the person that's number 2. So he's absolute best in the game when it comes to like selling high ticket. And he shared with me this thing that your triad never shifts even if you do. And so I was at an event. This dude made an offer and nobody bought. It was embarrassing. And you could see the look on his face, and he's just like, oh. And I saw Eli in the Wilhite. I was like, hey, what'd you think about that? And he ended up sharing this lesson with me, which is your tribe never shifts, even if they do. So where he had thought he was going to crush it, and you're on the call, and you're about to crush it, and they just hit you with a blindside objection or something that you weren't expecting, or like whatever. There's something called your triad, which is your language, your focus, and your body, right? Your language, your focus, and your body. So what are you saying? Like what's your posture, and what are you choosing to focus on? These are the things that create your state. It's a Tony Robbins-y idea. But understand that if someone gives you an objection and you crumble and you take 5 steps back and you just shut off and you're like, okay, sounds good. Like, you know, like have a nice day. You know, they're like, yeah, I never should have worked with that person anyways.
So being super laser.
So being super laser is if someone gives you an objection or you're experiencing something that you didn't expect, be aware of how you respond to that, because your frame should never shift. Like, be certain, be strong, appreciate them, hear them out, and keep moving.
And so that's tactical. But the underlying root cause of that is if you're truly taking a stand for someone's life and you're truly coming from a place of being selfless, it wouldn't impact you anyway because you don't care. Like, you care about taking a stand for them, and if they don't want to take that stand, that's their loss. And so that mirrors in everything, in your pupil dilation, and your body language, and your tonality, in every single piece. You know, I had an enrollment call right before this, and they didn't end up buying. My state didn't shift. I was like, your loss. Talk to me in 2 weeks when you're going to cash, right? Cool. Sell the destination, not the airplane. So the key thing is around this one is so many coaches get caught up in coaching. So coaching is high ticket, and high ticket is coaching, but don't mistake an enrollment call for coaching and getting into deep, deep details with people and trying to fix them on the call. Mm-hmm. That is the number one mistake. I actually had an enrollment call recently, and then I made a mistake of passing that referral over to someone who hadn't done as well in the program as other people. And so what happened when they go on the phone with that person, they try to coach them. Rather than sharing their experience and working with us and the shift that it made in their lives, they did exactly the same thing that's holding them back, and they try to coach that person. And so they got that person into a mindset of having to go think about it, stall, take time to reflect, do all the things that's been holding them back for the last 7 years, right? And so that's like getting into the weeds, getting into the details and trying to coach. So most coaches are like, yeah, my program's 12 weeks, has this, it 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 has this. As opposed to be focused on what is your vision? What do you want to create? How's that going to feel in your life? How are you going to like wake up every morning when you know that you've got 6-figure income coming in? When you've got your time back, you've let go of that overwhelm, where you're owning every part of your life. You can be present with your partner, not have to think about your business. Where you can own your health and you can be in the healthiest state you've ever been. Be fully present at all times. How amazing are you going to feel when that happens? That's what you're creating. That's the possibility you're creating on enrollment call. You're not coaching and getting into the weeds. Sure, there's times when you get into details, but you're focused on the destination, not the airplane. And here's the last one. Style fix like a Gracie. So I don't know what a Gracie means, but I can talk about style flexing. Is there's 3 different types of tonality that you guys can use on enrollment calls. Okay. So there's visual. And visual is a beautiful way when you're talking about someone's vision to get hyped up, excited, edify them. When they share they want to get sick of this, be like, boom, yes, I love that. That sounds amazing. It almost like inflects up. Like you ask a question that inflects up. Okay. Then you have auditory. That's pretty standard, like I'm sharing now, just like boom, pretty flat, just done. And then you have kinesthetic, where you're getting deep into that feeling with someone. And when you have an enrollment conversation that has the visual, has the auditory, and has the kinesthetic, that person is going to connect and feel a love and a connection towards you like they've very rarely experienced. You have taken them through a full movie experience with the highs and the lows and the highs, and you've used your body language, your tonality, your expression throughout, where they've been taken on a journey, and they're just like, whew, I don't know what just happened, but I'm excited to finally take a stand for my life in this area that's been holding me back for far too long. And I'm finally excited to step into what I want to create in my life. And that is the true power of enrollment. Boom. All right. So we're now going to bring up a few people, which is going to be super fun. So we've got you want to gather the troops?
Yeah.
So we've got a couple people who are going to jump on here. But we want to share with you guys, like obviously we've been doing this for a while. Alexander has had 600 enrollment calls in the last year. And if you guys want to come jump over here, we can hear you guys in the background. So Riker's had 600 enrollment calls in the last 12 months. So obviously he's had a lot of experience. But we're going to bring on some people who have gone through this recently and are where you are today, not too long ago, like very recently. So you want to do some intros to these amazing humans?
Yeah. So we have two amazing peeps. So we're bringing them on to show you guys the power of this stuff, because I think it's really it's great to learn it from the horse's mouth and the source of the water. But 2 is then to actually see it and experience it and realize that everything I was sharing with you is divinely powerful. And so we're going to bring on 2 people right now. One of them is Ryan Bowditch. Did you share his story?
No.
Okay, so Ryan, Get in here, brother. So this dude is an absolute legend. And yeah, I remember like the day that you like called me and we had that first conversation all the way to now. Like it's been like such an insane journey.
Yeah.
But you're someone that really embodies like leadership and power as a man. And I know that you bring that gift to the world. And you've inspired me so many ways, like really with a lot of the tantra work that I've done, as well as just like being able to be more in my heart and be vulnerable. Like so much of that comes from being inspired by you. And like it's been amazing because it's been reciprocal. And I know like you've been able to step a lot into what you've been able to stand for others as you share those gifts with me and now being able to share with your clients. So
yeah,
I would love if you could share with these guys, like, what are some key things that you learned with us in terms of like ways of being or energy or things that you've been able to apply to your business? Like, I know you just had a post that you did. Well, I don't know, that was like a week ago. What was that, like 4 or 5 days ago?
4 or 5 days ago.
This thing literally went viral within, it was getting 100 likes per hour.
Yeah.
It was like hour 1, 100. I look at it 2 hours later, it's like 200 likes. Next thing you know, 300, it was insane. Like it literally went viral. But yeah, man, like I love if you could share with these guys a little bit about your coaching, like what you do, and then two, like what your experience has been applying the things that we're sharing, and then like what out of everything that we shared, or I know you weren't here for all of it, but like what's been the biggest thing for you in working with us and like things around enrollment and leadership. Yeah, if you could just share with them.
Man. Well, I've been a part of a lot of masterminds throughout the years, and I've traveled all over, and I've got to sit with some of like the hitters in the business world. And the reason why I've done now 3 programs with you guys is I'm on my 3rd program now. I'm in the scale program now, is because you guys just really, really care about your clients. And that's like, I feel like that's one of the things that is often overlooked. It's like people focus so much on the money or on this or that, but it's like, man, if you really deeply care for your clients, like you're gonna go above and beyond. You're going to hang out in person and in private and like, you know, do something that's not in the program. And that's what I do for my clients a lot. Like I will do way more than what the initial program says, and they can feel that. They feel just like really, and it's genuine. Like I actually care deeply for them. And if someone's not feeling that way, they're probably in the wrong line of business. It's probably not, whatever you're coaching for is probably not for you if you genuinely don't care deeply about the people that you're serving. So that's something that I've most noticed about you guys that stands out from other people, is that you guys care deeply for all of us.
Yeah,
I
man.
really appreciate that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So and then in terms of like tangibly, like what's one thing that you've like really taken that supported you? Because like in the inner circle alone, like you landed deals, I know, with the Mystic Misfits, as well as for your personal coaching business, but I think the total of it was around like 50K, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Like I feel like you were struggling to get clients, and then we started working together and you were able to produce those kind of results. And it was a bit of a roller coaster. I'm like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But that was the end result. And what was just one thing that you actually applied from what we shared that you feel was like the game changer, the thing that did it for you and like really supported you with that?
Yeah. So for me, coming from like a military background and really thriving with accountability, number one, it was just knowing that I had people that were going to like, you know, were going to check in on me, man. Like, I think that is more, for me at least, is more potent than all of the art form of enrollment or the art of business. All those things are critical, man. But like when you really know you have someone who's going to like, who you're saying your goals to, and you know that they're going to actually like follow up on that, it's just way more powerful, man. And every time I see this happen, every time a client signs up with me, it doesn't matter how many like tricks I give them or how many things I teach them. It all comes back to accountability, man. And human beings, we're designed in tribes. We're tribal creatures, man. We are meant to be in packs. And what you see now is you have a bunch of solo entrepreneurs. You have a bunch of people trying to do it on their own. Maybe they have some friends who like they talk to, but like that friend's not going to really be on them. And they wonder why they're struggling. It's like, man, you're not on a team. You're not in a crew. You're not on a squad. And every time you guys launch another program, it's like you start off with all these people who are now your tribe. It's now your squad. And it's a lot harder to hide when you have people looking at you directly like that. So number one is accountability. Obviously, I've learned a lot about enrollment from you. Enrollment is it really is an art form, and something that I've gotten to really, really start to enjoy a lot lately. Obviously from James, the man, dude is about his shit. He's so organized and so has things handled, and that really strong masculine energy. I feel like the two of y'all are just quite the duo, that's for sure. What else in terms of really just the way you guys have your stuff organized too. It's like you guys have all your systems really dialed in. That's something that I still am growing into, learning all that stuff. But I feel like that's it's a really potent thing to see someone have these really clear-cut systems. And then you guys show us how to do all of them as well. So, yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, and I love that because, oftentimes it's like the medicine that we give is the medicine we need most. And I feel like the reason that we give community is because I live and breathe for this. Having you over here, every Friday, having co-working days, man, just being around badass people and then being able to support you in your mission. It's
I moved to San Diego for these two cats, man. Essentially, I literally, that's no bullshit. I was living in Colorado, and I was like, man, I just want to be in. Mad love to the Boulder entrepreneur scene. They're badasses, but it's a little different than San Diego. And it's I wanted to be even more deeply in the scene. And I mean, even the roommate that I had, they helped me find. James hit me up. He's like, yo, bro, already got a roommate for you. Done. And I'm just like, all right, San Diego it is. That's way more than just a business program, in my opinion.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing. Is there anything, we have 66 amazing souls on here. Is there anything that you'd just like to share, something that's on your heart that has come up recently, or anything that's coming through for you right now before we bring on Sophie?
Yeah. I think that I'll give you the advice that I would give myself. It's breathe and focus on what is directly in front of you. So if it's this program is directly in front of you, this boot camp is directly in front of you, breathe, feel the ground on your feet, really feel it, breathe, and just be with what's in front of you. If this program is what's in front of you, go for it, run it, man. You don't need to research 20 more programs. This is a problem that I've gotten a lot better with over the years with Tantra and breath work. And it's just being with what is in front of me and not grasping for 100 opportunities. It's what's the one in front of me? Cool. Go with that fully, with my breath, with my body, and just with that. And you can have there's so much joy in the single focusedness.
Yes. Laser focus.
Yeah. There's a lot of joy in that. And so that's probably the number one thing I would say. Just be with what's directly in front of you. And a lot of the anxiety, a lot of the fears are going to melt, especially if you just put all that wasted energy that goes on forecasting the future or worried about your past or oh, I'm not going to be good enough, all that. If you took even half that energy and just cut it off, said, nope, not going to give that energy there, and you just put it right back where you're at, I mean, you double your productivity like that. So that's probably the number one thing I'd say.
That is such a good piece of advice. Oh my God. Amazing. Thank you for sharing that, brother.
Bro. Love you, bro.
Boom. Yeah, so the rest of you guys who are in San Diego, we're going to Incredible Tribe, but I want to bring over one other amazing woman. I'll give a quick introduction and then we'll have her come in. But so this woman, she works with us, and she has a special place in my heart because I remember the day that she ended up working with us is she was on her last dollars, okay? And oftentimes, people want to stay in safety and old ways of thinking that prevent them from upgrading and being who they really are. And I remember having this conversation with her name's Sophie, and she was about to go on a trip to Thailand, and she literally only had a certain amount of cash. She needed it for Thailand, and she was basically it was an all-in decision. And she said yes, and she paid in full, and immediately afterwards she signed a client. It was like 3 days afterwards I got a text. She's like, I just signed my first client. And I love sharing her story, because to go from where she was, which was like dead flat, stopped in her business, to getting an immediate client right away just simply because of the enrollment process, but two, to be where she is now, where literally it's at the point where, like, I'm just gonna pull up Messenger real quick on my phone and show you guys, because oh, perfect, actually I had it up already. I expect a text from her about every 3 to 4 days saying that I signed a client. So here's just some messages like, yeah, like paid in full. Okay, awesome. I think we were like jamming on that for a little bit. And she was like, oh, yeah, another paid in full. Boom, text me again, paid in full. Da 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 da. And then I think now she's at the boot camp. But like, I'm just constantly expecting like clients from her, because she has taken this, and I remember her sharing with me. She's like, Alexander, like, I'm going to master enrollment. And like literally it was from this process that we coined the term like enrollment goddess, because any dream client that jumps on the phone with her, like, it's like a no-brainer. She already knows they're going to work with them, because she's taken these principles, she's applied them, she's applied them to the T. So I'm not going to introduce her. Sophie, would you please join us over here? Woo! Yeah! Woo! So one of my favorite human beings in the world right here is Sophie, and thank you for taking the time to like join us. And yeah, like I think it'd be really powerful if you kind of share what your transformation around enrollment has been, because it's one thing to just like be on here and like, you know, take notes, and it's a completely whole other thing to take all the things that we shared with these guys and actually apply them. And you are someone that has done that, and like you're such an incredible client. Like I wish all of my clients to be as coachable as you are, and like as committed to becoming enrollment or savage enrollment as you are. But yeah, I would love for you if you could share like from that first call that we had, and like some of the things that you experienced early on, some of the challenges you faced, to being able to apply what we've gone through here, and kind of like how you have gone to a space where you're constantly texting me saying paid in full, paid in full.
Well, I'll start by saying that I had such a charge around asking for money. I felt so uncomfortable with it. I was working with most people for free because I just felt weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really just a shift. Like now I love doing enrollment calls. I feel like I'm about to change someone's life. It feels this like big thing, and it's like, it gives me so much energy. And just coming, yeah, like you said, like coming from a place of actually wanting to help someone, right? Because it's a big thing, right? And if you have something that you're really excited about, and it's like, I really want to share this with the world, it's like, I feel that's just the best thing ever to do. And I was kind of lost in like following a certain script or needing it like to do it a certain way. But when I actually just like get really excited and really believe in what I offer and what I do, and like these guys also really helped me to feel confident in that and really believing me and like hold this vision for me, because I didn't have that when I started. I had this passion, but I didn't really, like I had so many doubts about everything. Like, what should I do? How am I going to approach this? Can I even do this? Like all of this stuff that was coming up for me. And now it's like, wow, I can do what I love to do, and doing it with, yeah, just being natural. I guess that was a big one for me, to not having to follow, yeah, like a script, but just to like come from love and come from excitement, really.
Yeah. And like being able to do it in a way that like feels like, when you think about enrollment, like how does it feel for you? Like, what do you feel when you think about enrollment?
It brings me alive. It's like brings me this like, yeah, when I think about it literally in my body, I'm like, it gives me life.
Yeah. Like this is like the power of being yourself and authentically enrolling someone to your programs, because you understand the value of what you can do for them, like all the principles we went through, transformations, price, etc. But then you're also able to then give that gift to them, right? And yeah, do you have any fun like enrollment stories where things were almost like on the brink and you're like, you know, like maybe it was like a high point, but like you were able to navigate that conversation? Like it would be really fun if you have any stories, if you're open to sharing.
I mean, so much fear comes up in people when they're about to like do something like that, and it's it's really interesting how, because you know there's the fear, and people, they come up with all kinds of stories that it's their truth, right? They believe that it's like, oh, I need to do this, or maybe I'll do it later, or whatever happens. But then when you're actually helping people to realize like, whoa, is this real? Like understanding them and then making them realize like, wow, you're actually, you know, going a layer deeper, that people are like, oh, wow, this like, it totally makes sense. That's my favorite part. Yeah.
So what are some key things that you've taken from what I've taught you around enrollment, or what we've taught you, and that you apply like consistently and maybe even unconsciously, like now it's just like part of who you are? But what are some key things that shifted everything for you?
One of the big ones is to really wanting, to understand them, like really wanting to know what they're going through, what's going on in their life, what they're struggling with. Just this curiosity, like really wanting to understand them. I find that a really big one, without even wanting to like sell them. Because before I had this story like, oh, I feel like I need to get something from them, which is easy to think, right? When you call, like a lot of people, this, for me, it's like, oh, I need to get something from them. And that energy, it just doesn't really work. So that was a big shift.
So what did it shift to? Like what?
To helping them, you know, and coming from a place of enjoying the process and wanting to get to know them. And then from there, it's like, okay, so this is how I can help you. Yeah.
Awesome. So being able to actually focus on understanding them and like having a genuine curiosity to understand them and to support them. What are some other things? Because like I remember it was like there was this like you were getting clients, but like there was a point where it's just like boom, like they just started coming. And I'm curious like what that inflection point was from like where you were getting clients to just systematically enrolling. Like what it was like seeking to understand and like really coming from that space. What were some other ideas that really supported you in becoming a goddess at enrollment?
I think the biggest thing for me was to in a way just really listening to them, what I said, and then I probably already said that, but coming from a place where I want to help them, right? And also like having what I offer, seeing if that is right for them. And then if I really feel within myself like, oh, this is so, like I put all of my love in this, and then it just kind of flows automatically, right? I think that was the big thing that shifted. That was like, oh wow, I feel like I have these things that I love sharing with people, and really coming from that place.
Yeah. I can almost feel it right now. Oh, that's so good. Awesome. So I'll ask you the same thing that I asked Ryan. We have 58 amazing souls with us live, plus loads of people who are watching the replay. But is there anything like on your heart that's been coming up recently, or anything that you feel called to share right now?
Well, I assume most of the people on here are coaches, which this work is so amazing and so important. And I truly believe that if people like follow their highest excitement with this, it's like most of people here, they coach about something that they really want to bring to the world. I think it's so important to like choose to step into that and make the decision, be like, I'm gonna do this because number one, the world needs it, but also for your own soul, right? It's like, I feel like that's the point of life, to follow that and to go for that, and I know there's so much fear. There's all this, I was paralyzed by fear for the longest time. So it does take a decision, right? To be like, okay, I'm going to commit to doing this. Because it can be easy to just get caught up in whatever, story there is. And it's like, I just think it's so important to step into this, like for yourself and also for other people. And it's so fulfilling.
Yeah. And like, I that kind of inspired me to ask you a few more questions, but like, because you were stopped, right? Like you were dead stopped in your business for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And you're basically telling me like, I'm basically going to be out of business either way, even though I'm not really in business like right now. Like I know this is my path. And like we had that call and you just chose to commit like no other. Like I don't even know when that was. Like it was a minute ago. But like I just remember having that call and I'm like, Sophie, like we're going to do this thing. And you're like, yes, we are. What were some of the things that supported you in believing like in that moment that not only was the inner circle the good fit and like, you know, like that I was able to support you or like, you know, our team, but really for you, more importantly, to actually commit to your vision and like everything that you just shared, like what were some of the things that you told yourself in that moment?
Well, it really required me to think, okay, what is the alternative, right? If I'm not going to fully do this and if I'm not going to fully step into this, to become really real about that, right? Because we don't really want to go there sometimes, but I was like, oh shit, if I'm not really going to do this, I absolutely don't want to happen. Like what's the other direction? So just getting really real with myself.
Yeah. And what was the other option?
I probably would have to move in with my parents. I literally, when we had this call, I was just floating around on the world. Like I was running out of money. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a way to make money. I didn't have a plan where I was going to go next. I didn't have a home. I was just sleeping on people's couches with didn't know where I was going to go next. I was just very like lost. So yeah, it was literally like, okay, I really need to go for this, or I'm just gonna, I don't know, live with my parents or something.
All right, this will be the last thing I asked you, just because I think it'll be really fun. But have you ever thought about what would have happened if you had said no in that moment?
Oh, I would have been working a really crappy job, living somewhere where I don't want to live, just being really unhappy. Yeah.
Now you're in San Diego and Manifest Mansion.
Yeah.
Woo! Thank you. Thank you for sharing. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. I'm so excited for this woman. She's just continually soaring. So, yes, the Hodges is back. And guys, like this is just the power. Like, yes, those are client testimonials and it's very real, but these guys apply it. They take what we share with them and they apply it. And we know how easy it is in the day-to-day to be able to be in your own space, believe the stories you've been believing, and just kind of stay in that same, it's called like a trance, but it's like that same day-to-day where not much shifts and you're constantly having thoughts about what you want, but it doesn't seem like the day-to-day really connects you to there. And you wonder if you're ever really going to get there or how you're actually going to be able to get out of it. And there's no, there's no quick fix, but the first starting place is with ways of being and everything that we shared through this 5-day boot camp. And the reason that we wanted to bring all this around enrollment to you guys is because we know that if you're able to master this craft, if you're able to truly be the best in the space at what you are, like there's a world of abundance ready for you. And we also know that day to day is where the breakdown happens. And I love what Ryan shared about his experience in working with us as he continues to, is that it's the culture that we're creating. Like we're here in San Diego. We just launched an Inner Circle chapter in New York. We're all around the world. Like we are building the most insane community of mission-driven coaches because like you're out there and maybe you're crushing or maybe you already have a business that's working. But at the end of the day, like we are a community-based creatures and beings. And like we want to have an experienced life with others who get us. And like what we aim to create is the most amazing, like conscious community of badass coaches in the world. And it's happening. It already exists. And so if you feel called by the things that we're sharing with you guys and you're dead set on being able to get to 6 figures, or if you're already there and you want to get out of the wheel, like we can have that conversation. It's a separate program, but like this is it. No one else is doing this. This doesn't exist anywhere else. We created it because it doesn't. And anyone that may be out there, like having similar offers, like, I just would invite you to share, like, if there's one thing that you got from this live today, you can only imagine what it'd be like if we were right there in the trenches with you, supporting you in getting the business that you want day by day. Our full team, me, this guy, Massey, Vanessa, like our whole support, our whole crew, everyone else that's going to be in Inner Circle with you. Like, this is the real deal, guys. And here's what we're here to create. Like, Wild Wild West is going to be done in the next couple of years. everything with Inner Circle is going to be the standard. If you're not making 6 figures, like this just isn't going to be acceptable in the coaching space anymore. And we're going to show you exactly how to be able to get there systematically. We've done it for ourselves. We've done it for our clients. And now we're going to be able to like bring this more and more to the masses. And the reason that we made this whole boot camp, partnered with Preston and Alexi, brought Alexander and Amber and Taylor and all these amazing people, is because it takes a tribe to be able to change the world. And you're one person with a massive vision, a massive purpose, someone who's dead set on making the world a better place. And we commend you for it, because so are we. But the truth of the matter is, you being in, your isolated silo and us being over here doesn't really serve either of us. So why don't we come together? Why don't we unify under that same vision of being able to make the world a better place and show exactly how to finally have the business that you actually want? Like, no shit. And we shared with you guys this on day 1. For those of you guys who didn't make it, like, we have a full money back guarantee. Go to another coach that has a full money back guarantee. It doesn't exist. We only started adding this to our program about 3 months ago, maybe 2 months ago. And of course, it's contingent on you doing the work, being able to show up, like go through all the content. Like, that's absolutely key. Like, we're not going to refund you if you're not doing the work. Like, this isn't for, any victims. This is for world-class leaders. This is for people who are dead set on making the world a better place. They know they need support, and they want to do it with badass people and tribe and community like we're creating, not just here in San Diego, but all around the world. So, I know there's a little bit of rant. I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that for these guys.
So I'd say, first of all, if you guys want to get the rest of what we're sharing today around these principles, go to the title of this Facebook Live and click on the link, which is book my growth hacking strategy session. Lock that in, and we'll have a conversation with you, and then we'll send you guys a whole packet of a bunch of amazing stuff. You can see it on the landing page. It includes the rest of the principles. But more importantly, if you guys were able to create consistent 10K months without paid ads, fancy funnels, or feeling stressed and overwhelmed in the next 12 months, would it be worth having a conversation with us? If you guys can no longer trade time for money and actually build off a model that's scalable, would it be worth having a conversation with us? If you guys could finally feel in power, on purpose, excited about enrollment calls, and know you could feel your worth and charge thousands of dollars for your service, feel fully congruent in being able to do it, and actually be able to do it like Sophie does, where you're getting high ticket clients in every 3 or 4 days, would it be worth having a conversation with us? If you feel yes to any of those, even if all this resistance is coming up, I would love to invite you guys to click on that link and to lock in a conversation with us, because this is the work that we're here to do. We're here to bring personal development to the masses. If you are listening to this, if you have a deep heart and a deep longing to bring your mission to the world, to have that impact, to be paid handsomely for it and create the freedom that you want, that is the stand that we're here to create. We didn't pay our clients to come on here today. We didn't pay our clients to come on here on Monday. They chose to come and be here because of the stand that we've taken for them and their clients' lives. And we're here to do that same thing for you guys. We love you guys so much. And unless there's anything else you want to say on that note, I think it's time we get into the prize draw for the Ultimate Coaching Package.
From the rafters!
Let's
prize
go!
draw.
All right.
Oh my God, I almost forgot about the prize draw. So yeah, just
Don't worry, Dad's got it. Dad's got it, Grandpa. All right. So here's the deal. If you guys followed the instructions for the boot camp and you tagged 3 friends on our business page, we had a post and you were there to tag 3 coaching friends in that post. If you guys did that, you are in the draw. And if you didn't, I'm sorry, you missed those details, those instructions. I'd actually invite you to ask you how that's showing up in your life right now, and if that's impacting your coaching business, because I know a lot of coaches do that. And anyways, just like poking a little bit of fun. And you have to have tagged 3 friends to be in the draw. So if you guys have, get your fingers ready, because the first person who answers this question right, who has tagged 3 friends.
Candace, you can't
you
win. You already won, Candace.
Oh, come on.
You'll finish this sentence for me. Okay.
You ready, Josh?
I'm ready.
I know there's a little bit of lag, so it may take some time. But the first person who tag 3 friends who answers this question correctly wins the Ultimate Coaching Package, which is another news headset. Gets to come out and hang out with us at any of our live events throughout the US. And you guys get the 6-Figure Coach Blueprint, which is like an online course that we built a little while ago. Okay. So Get ready. Da-da-da. Enrollment is a blank conversation. Enrollment is a blank conversation. Principle number one, we shared it today. We've seen it over and over and over and over again. Enrollment is a blank conversation. What kind of conversation is that? Whoever says that first, they are the winner. Mika! Woo!
That's only if, hey, that's only if, we're going to go back and verify, but that's only if you tag 3 people.
Yeah, so if you guys, I would say just go and write that shit down, because if she didn't tag 3 friends in that post, we're going to go and verify, and the next person who said it is going to win. So get those chat box going, like fly that word in there, get it in, and we're going to reach out to that person directly and hook them up. But
for now, Mika!
Mika! We love you, Mika. And the funniest thing about this whole thing, it's a beautiful spiral, is Sophie was living with Mika, and then she left, and now Ryan took her room. How crazy is that? Oh my God.
The wildness.
That is so good.
Oh
All
my
right,
God.
so I would love for you guys to share. We're at the end of the boot camp. I would love for you guys to go and lock in your growth hacking strategy sessions. And to finalize everything, I would love for you guys to share any love, any comments. What are the biggest takeaways that you guys have taken? We've had 5 days of crazy knowledge bombs. Preston, Alexi, Amber, Alex, Taylor, Rika, Hodges, Massey, Sophie, Ryan, Claudia. Like, we've had incredible, Leon, we've had amazing people coming and sharing what is number 1, 2, 3 takeaways from this, and what are you guys going to go and implement to move away from being a note taker and being someone who actually changes people's lives. What are your takeaways? What's coming up for you guys? Want to hear these? Let's get some fire. Let's get some love. Get some finalized. Let's leave on a high. Let's get all you guys firing in the chat box. You've been the silent participant the whole time. Get fired up. It's time you get some excitement in your life, because that's what's going to transform people's lives and bring you into the life that you want to create. Let's see it. Let's hear it. Massey, what do we got going on?
We got congratulations. We got yes. Congrats. Woo, woo. Firing over here. Let's go. Oh, yeah. So stoked. We're so stoked for you, Mika. Woo! Oh, the best free workshop on the internet I've seen. Thank you, Frey.
Ooh.
Just
I
wait
love
till you
that
pay us and see what you give you when you pay
Oh.
us. Boom.
Oh, care deeply, be in service, be authentic. Oh my gosh. Yes.
So
So
good.
many bangers.
So good.
Cool. We get to
Amazing,
wrap
guys.
this thing up, guys. You guys are incredible. We love you. Bring the spirit out to the world. Bring the value that we bring. Take a stand for the coaching industry. Take a stand for your life. Book that growth hacking session. We love you guys so much, and we'll be seeing you guys in this group. I think we're going to start going live once a week moving forward, something like that.
Yep.
And bring the fire in this group and have it take that spark that's reignited it and really continue to bring it. So we love you guys. Have an epic Friday from Manifest Mansion, and we'll see you guys soon.
Boom. Enrollment Friday.
Oh, yeah, and it's Enrollment Friday. Boom.
Amazing.
And now my computer's broken and kind of in the live. So we can
There's really nothing we're clicking like end live. That beautiful like end, and then the live continues.
All right, we're just gonna hit the cross
See you
up
guys.
there.
We love you. Appreciate you.